Says that Pakistan would not become scapegoat in the region, and we won't fight anybody's war on our soil. I think this message from Pakistan is also very clear, and this was said by Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi at UNGA, that Pakistan would not become scapegoat, and the strategy in Afghanistan is a failed strategy. So these statements also are unprecedented. This time, the way Pakistan has given a very clear message to the American friends and to the international community. How do you see that?
I think Pakistan had to do that because we are being pressurized and we are being labeled with this do more mantra so much now that to me it looks like a hackneyed term because it has been overused against Pakistan. So finally Pakistan had to come with a clear stance, and principally speaking, because as I mentioned earlier, that Pakistan has achieved a lot. What they expect from Pakistan anymore, because Pakistan, keep that in mind, that Pakistan does not have the capacity to do more. And instead of appreciating Pakistan's sacrifices and Pakistan's role, if they are pressurizing Pakistan to do more, that is not in the interest of the US as well. Secondly, there must be a growing realization inside Afghanistan now that 16 years on in Afghanistan, what US has achieved, rationally speaking, they did not achieve anything.
Well, interestingly, we obviously criticize the big players in Afghanistan, but at times we overlook the role of Kabul administration for that matter. Because what Americans say is that they have been pumping in money in Afghanistan, but still massive corruption is rampant in Afghanistan. You can read New York Times, and it reports very clearly on the massive corruption, internal political instability, and 45% of land, as I said earlier, is controlled by the Taliban. So transparency is very important when we talk about this whole issue.
Transparency is very important, as well as synchronization and harmony between between different stakeholders is also very important. And I have been saying this many a times, that if Kabul administration needs to take baby steps, and the baby steps are, if they want to settle things on their own, the first step they need to take is to bring about all these different factions, including Taliban, because this figure varies from 40 to 50%, that they are holding about 50% of land in Afghanistan. So without the inclusion of Taliban on the negotiation table, it would be a futile exercise. So there has to be a settlement between different factions and between the government as well. And as you just mentioned, that there is massive corruption, and we definitely overlook that how much Kabul administration is concerned about peace and stability in Afghanistan. We as regional players, China, Russia, and we as Pakistanis are much more concerned. And we have been extending our peaceful hands to Afghanistan. But again, the situation comes back to square one because of two reasons. One, because of US stances, and second, because of India's growing role inside Afghanistan. That creates further misperceptions and misunderstandings between Pakistan and Afghanistan.
What can Pakistan do, Dr. Mirza?